I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Readers rejoice! This week, Amazon unveiled the Kindle Flair, the latest model of their popular e-reader. The improved device has the ability to loudly and repeatedly announce the title of the book you're reading so everyone knows how smart you are.
Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut.
The hot new e-reader includes a massive catalog of titles, a sleek, easy-to-use interface, and a loud, clear voice that barks the name and author of your book on a loop. Amazon says the repetitive shouting is a small feature that makes a big difference. Readers say that with crystal clear 150 decibel stereo speakers, the Flair provides the most conspicuous reading experience yet. When you're not reading, the Flair automatically switches into bookshelf mode, which conserves power and reads off a list of everything on your Kindle.
Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, a confederacy of dunces.
And Amazon's competition has also stepped up their game as Apple released a new iPad that whispers, "I have an iPad," over and over again.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves, which you could do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE. F is in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in studio, we are joined by...
It's Ian.
And I'm Vincent. And... you know, I'm going to try and do something different today, where I've reached a corona fatigue, and I'm surprised it's taken this long, and I'm sure for everyone else it's struck way sooner. But because and it's difficult too, because on one end the news is saturated with coronavirus news, and also news related to the coronavirus and the government shutdown spawned by it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I feel that it's important to talk about other things, right? Especially more positive things too. But also, I feel like it's negligence not to talk about some of the awful things going on. So I'm going to see if we could try and strike a balance tonight. And you can too, if your thoughts and phone calls are always welcome. I'll give a number out again: 855-450-FREE. F is in freedom. 855-450-3733. But luckily today we get to begin with some good news. And this is as of today. Texas Supreme Court orders Dallas Salon owner released as Abbott bans jailing citizens for lockdown violations.
Oh, interesting.
And Shelley Luther is her name, and I saw a video. She has been released from prison as of this.
Wow.
Not prison, from jail as of this afternoon. There was a pseudo rally outside of the jail. So the Texas Supreme Court on Thursday ordered the release of salon owner Shelley Luther, who was jailed for opening in violation of the state's rules, as Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order retroactively eliminating jail time as a consequence for violating the state's coronavirus restrictions. And this is from FoxNews.com by voice. So I wonder if he did this, one, out of the goodness of his heart, or two, he realized just how ridiculous it was, arresting people for, just trying to feed their families. Or three, the outcry was so large and so loud that he was
political.
He was forced. Yes.
Yeah, it's political. He didn't want to look bad. Given, I think I heard this woman had raised $500,000 as of sometime yesterday.
Oh yeah, her GoFundMe got a lot of money, definitely.
So that's something that politicians will pay attention to, right? Like, if this person is not only getting media coverage, but there's also a significant amount of money behind this person, then they're going to be thinking twice. Now, there's also another, I would say, theory here, and that is that the idea is that these are not actually enforceable legally anyway, meaning that all of this is essentially a big bluff, like even within their own system. Like, look, I think as a voluntarist that you should be free to live your life how you want. If you want to go and open your business and not wear masks and do whatever it is you want to do with your business, as long as you aren't, hurting anybody, cool, do it. I think you should be free to do that. And I think that even within the system's own crappy rules, a governor's orders, I'm going to put quotes around that, orders don't actually apply to you, right? Because a governor is the head of the executive branch, correct?
Yes.
Like if you go back to elementary school or middle school or whenever it was that they taught you this stuff, there was the three branches of government: executive, judicial, and legislative. And the idea was the legislative branch would make laws, pass them, and then the governor signs them, and then they go into law and they affect everybody. Now, I think that's a bunch of hokum myself. I don't believe in the system. I don't consent to it. But if we take the system at its face value as to what it's supposed to do and supposed to stand for, when a governor issues an executive order, that's supposed to be for the executive branch, meaning he can order around his subservience, meaning the state police or the cops or whoever it is that's in the executive branch. So when a governor writes an order about what you're supposed to do, that it's ultimately nothing more than a strong suggestion. Now, of course, we've seen that suggestion being enforced with violence in some states, but yet here in New Hampshire, it has yet to do that. In Texas, they did put this woman in jail. And now the governor has reversed that. Now, is he doing it just to make himself look good? Is it just a political stunt? Or did he realize that they were going to lose if this lady went to trial?
That's a good point, and I also remember I saw in the news some rumblings from the Justice Department, and that I think it was Attorney General Barr was threatening to go after states that had too draconian of policies. Which just sounds ridiculous. I mean, just for a long time listeners of this show, it sounds ridiculous, right? The federal Justice Department is going to crack down on states for being too draconian in their measures. But I think, that's what they announced. So that's, I think that also might have played into that. So she was released from jail Thursday afternoon today.
Well, that's interesting that he was able to do that too, because I was speculating yesterday that I didn't know if he had the power to do it.
Well, the Supreme Court of Texas ordered the release.
Oh, it was the court that did it. Okay, that explains it then, because I didn't think the governor would be able to override a contempt of court charge,
quote,
and he didn't.
His statement here is, throwing Texans in jail who have had their businesses shut down through no fault of their own is nonsensical. Well, yeah, it's a fault of your government. Mm-hmm. It is nonsensical, and I will not allow it to happen, Abbott said in a statement, although it did. But
well, that's the thing. She went to jail for contempt of court.
Yes.
She didn't go to jail for violating the governor's order. So his statement here of, "We will not put anyone in jail for violating the governor's order about this." Well, you haven't put anyone in jail yet for that.
Yeah.
So, he's just going out there and saying what might have already been true, which is to say that they wouldn't have a legal leg to stand on if they put you in jail for opening up your business and violating the governor's order, and you challenged it. You should be able to win that in court. And I think he knows it, and so he's using this as a political opportunity to score points for himself and look good, when in point of fact, he's just pointing out what's been true the whole time.
Oh, absolutely. And he's not alone in this. The state's Attorney General Ken Paxton and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick called for Lufer's release after she was jailed by Dallas County State District Judge Eric Moyer. The official said he had abused his discretion and emphasized that the woman was keeping her business open in order to feed her family.
Well, what I'm interested is, did the Supreme Court actually release a statement? Because that's the really interesting part about this to me, is the woman was jailed for contempt of court. So remember, contempt of court is whenever you do something against a judge's order. And in this case, the judge had ordered that she cease and desist with opening her business because the judge had issued or one of the judges had issued some sort of a "thou shalt not run your business in Dallas" order. And so she was in violation of a judge's order, which is why she went to jail. So I'm interested to know, and I don't know if this story covers it.
No, not in this article about
but I wonder if the the Texas Supreme Court actually made any kind of statement, or did they just quietly release her? So if you know the answer, you can call in. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Because ultimately, the Supreme Court, I don't think, has to worry about politics like a governor does. They probably aren't running for those offices. They're probably being appointed to them. So it does make me wonder what their rationale was for it.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm trying to find a specific statement from it. It's just on the fly. It's
Yeah,
on the
hard.
fly, it's hard, but I'm hoping that Texas is some parts of Texas are solidly red, and you have the types of people who believe in the Texan Republic and believe in the whole Blue Lives Matter, and they worship the police. So I'm really hoping that this incident instance will wake a lot of these people up and realizing that the police in Texas are just as tyrannical as like the police in California or some blue state, and realizing that it wasn't the local office, right? I mean, it was the local office, the local law enforcement and local judge who were the ones abusing their power. But I mean, in this case, it's what they call like an not excruciating circumstance, but a very special circumstance that got the governor to, the governor and the Supreme Court to help release her. That, this isn't going to happen for everyone. It certainly doesn't happen too often either. So I mean, I have to say she's really lucky to experience this. And I mean, hopefully,
I hope she takes some of that $500,000 and sues him anyway, because she did go to jail for some amount of time, like 2 days or whatever it was, and she should be compensated.
Absolutely. I don't know. What do you think? Should she just be happy with the money, or should she try and get compensation? 855-450-FREE, F as in freedom. It's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556, or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces, even within an IRA. 800-525-9556, ICAGoldSilver.com.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
You can't win if you don't enter, and you actually can improve your chances of winning a prize drawing if you wrinkle up your entry blank. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com, and I speak from experience. Why this works: if they'll be spinning the drum before drawing, your entry blank will move around more than, and not adhere to, other perfectly flat entry blanks. And if they don't spin the drum and merely reach into a box full of other perfectly flat entry blanks, many of which are sticking together, yours will feel different to the person reaching in. When you win, act surprised. And if you're looking for work, this is a metaphor. For more tips on sticking out in a world where just too much blends into the blah, 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 hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves, which you can do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE, F as in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in studio, we're joined by...
It's Ian.
And I'm Vincent, and we're going to just continue a little bit into this article here. And Miss Shelley Luther is still required to pay a $7,000 fine, but you'd never guess who has opted to cover that fine for her. But first, I want to talk to you about local.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. It's local.bitcoin.com. So now, Ian, you said you have the statement from the court?
Yeah, so it was reported on whichever one of these sites we were talking about earlier that it was a, quote, temporary order, but that's not what it is. It is and I've got the actual court document here from the Supreme Court of Texas, that is essentially a response to a habeas corpus request. So for those who are unfamiliar, and I'm not an attorney, okay, so this is going to be a really crappy explanation, but a habeas corpus says, we want to see the body. It's Latin, and it's essentially what happened was her attorney said that she's illegally being held, and they filed this with the Supreme Court. And as one of the commenters points out here, quote, meanwhile, black men are thrown in jail for an ounce of pot or for missing jury duty, but Karen chooses to go to jail for a political statement, and alas, the Texas Supreme Court intervenes within 24 hours. So, I mean, she's definitely getting some attention here that is unusual. And so anyway, this order is in reference to a habeas corpus request. Essentially, her attorney said she's illegally being held for this contempt order, and the court tentatively essentially agreed with that, but it is not like she could, in theory, be put back in. This case is not closed, basically. What they've done is they've released her on a personal bond. So she's out on bail, basically, from this judge's orders. This is one of the strangest situations with contempt I've ever heard of, because it's very rare for any other judge to intervene with a contempt sentence. Because again, as we discussed, I think briefly last night, contempt is an inherent power of the courts, the Western courts. It's just sort of this thing that's unquestioned with judges. They can just do it and get away with it. So in this case, only other judges can put a stop to it. So the fact that the Supreme Court has weighed in is very interesting. And so it does say to the sheriff that they are commanded to release Shelley Luther on her personal bond and in the terms of conditions of the law, and that she shall comply with the final decision of the Supreme Court of Texas. So there has yet to be an actual decision made here. This is just essentially a bond release from contempt, which I've never heard of before.
And so, I mean, strange time was when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. These are definitely strange times, and she's not out of the woods yet either. She's still ordered to pay a fine of $35,000.
$35,000.
Sorry, $3,500. Excuse me. I'm glad you're here.
And that's to whom?
To the
city.
It was the probably because the judge ordered it.
I thought the judge wanted $7,000.
Well, it's $35 in it, so pay a fine of $3,500 along with $500 for every day her salon is open until Friday, May 8th.
I see.
And so the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, actually tweeted out, 7 days in jail, no bail, and a $7,000 fine is outrageous. No surprise Texans are responding. I'm covering the $7,000 fine she had to pay, and I volunteered to be placed under house arrest so she could go to work and feed her kids.
Oh.
Isn't he so noble? I mean, I guess now that he said he would pay the fine, I guess he's got to, because if he doesn't, then he'd, But, probably a stunt. But all right, good for him, right? Because she's already, if it would look horrible on the court if this woman who's made national news saying how she violated the law and faced arrest to feed her children, and she's allowed out, right? She's not going to be in that filthy jail full of coronavirus.
But is she going to keep
opening?
Is she going to keep the place open? That's the big question.
Well, that is a good question. Well,
because they're hitting her with $500 a day fines, that's going to be pretty brutal.
She could open as of tomorrow, I believe. That's when the governor is allowing salons to open May 8th.
Oh, there's a certain day where you can.
Yeah.
I see.
And that's why a lot of these people, not badge bunnies, but people with Stockholm syndrome to the government, for giving her grief, they say, yeah, well, I agree with the principle, but why couldn't you have just waited
a week?
Just wait a week. Just tell your kids you're gonna have to starve for a few more days until the governor says you could reopen your business. That's out of Texas. I mean, not the best news, but at least it's not as bad as it could have been. And so this hour, it's going to be a tale of three governors. So here we have coming FoxNews.com again. Governor Cuomo of New York, Andrew Cuomo, surprised most New York coronavirus hospitalizations are people who stayed at home.
What?
Geez, Ian, this doesn't make any sense. I thought they said we got to stay home in order to save people's lives and be safe.
Well, actually, now I'm not a doctor, but according to what I've heard, if you stay inside, you don't go out, you don't get any fresh air, you don't get any sunlight or whatever, you're actually more vulnerable to catching something nasty.
Hey, whoa, that's a conspiracy theory. Where'd you hear that from? Mike Adams?
No, I don't remember where I heard it.
Well, I mean, probably
Ron Paul, I think it was.
It's it's
Dr. Ron Paul.
That's a very good point. I mean, I've been hearing that. I mean, I think most of us have been hearing that since we were young. Or I don't know. I agree. A different culture I come from, where go outside, get some sun, get some fresh air, because the recycled air. That's why so many people would get sick during travel. Well, for many reasons, right? Being exhausted and such, but also you're in a sealed area. You're in a tin can, or you're in an aluminum can, and the air is being recycled. Someone sneezes, all that particles go out.
Yeah.
And same thing on the inside if you're using air conditioning or
Which is why wearing masks on planes is like, what's the point?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you're gonna breathe everything in, and it's already hard enough to breathe on planes. But and it's not just planes now. It's at your actual house. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced on Wednesday that 66% of the state's new coronavirus patients were sheltering in place at home before seeking medical attention in hospitals, calling the statistics shocking. They're disproportionately older, but by the way, older starts at 51 years old, he says. But if older starts at 51 years old, then that's a large number of us old folks in this state, in this country. The data was taken from a 3-day survey of 113 New York hospitals, covering more than 1,200 patients, according to Cuomo. We thought maybe they were taking public transportation, and we've taken special precautions on public transportation. But actually, no, because these people were literally at home, he added. Only 4% were taking public transportation. 2% were walking. So of people who were hospitalized. Cuomo also said only 17% of the patients were employed, and most patients were not considered to be essential workers. 37% were retired, and 46% were unemployed. Much of this comes down to what you do to protect yourself, he explained. Government has done everything it could. So, yeah, that's the problem. Because you did anything. Society has done everything it could. Now it's up to you. Are you wearing the mask?
Nope.
Are you doing the hand sanitizer? Are you staying away from older people? Says a man who goes to his press conferences not wearing a mask. It's an absolute farce. I feel so bad for anyone who's living in New York State, let alone New York City. I don't know, how is your governor handling it? Is your state better or worse off than most? 855-450-FREE.
I don't have a governor.
855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Free Talk Live.
Where did you get this right to tell me what I can do in my business? Where do you get the right?
I support private property.
No, you don't.
You're a liar. You don't understand it.
I'm a liar.
You're either a liar or you don't understand what private
house.
property is. One or the other.
Your house is private property.
Yeah, my business is
you
too.
Open up a business
It
to the
is
public. Now it's
open
not
to
private.
the public.
As far as I'm concerned,
Well,
that's just an opinion.
you can redefine property if that's what you want to do. Where do you get the right to tell me what I can do in my business?
My lungs. So when they pass a law,
The government,
has lungs, sir.
The law. You just pointed it out.
I'm being silly.
The law.
You're being a Nazi.
You're absolutely right. The law is what gives you the right. The law is a bunch of words written on paper by liars and thieves, and you're willing to use that force that they have to reach your own ends. When you're willing to do that, then anybody can do anything to you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves, as you could do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And in studio, we're joined by...
It's Ian.
And I'm Vincent. And before we get to the phones, I want to talk to you about Intercoin. Now, thanks to Intercoin, every member of a community can receive a periodic airdrop of money they could use on necessities. This UBI could be funded by outside donors or by the community democratically voting to gradually inflate their internal money supply. Community currencies powered by Intercoin enable communities to help their own without waiting for the federal government and without disincentivizing paid work. The arrangement is completely voluntary and democratic. Now, Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in meat space. We think that it is important here on Free Talk Live, so important that FTL accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Inc. for advertising. Now, if you think freedom is important too, check out Intercoin at intercoin.org. You could invest in this project and potentially make big gains, or just be involved and perhaps share its future. That's intercoin.org. Intercoin.org. And now we go to indigestion, Ian. Now we go to the phones where Matthew in Louisiana is patiently waiting. Thank you for the call. What's on your mind?
Ooh, by the way, before you go on with that,
hold on.
Bitcoin just crossed $10,000.
Bitcoin just crossed $10,000. Wonderful. All right, sorry about that, Matthew. Thank you for the call.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, okay. So congrats on Bitcoin holders. The governor of Louisiana, Bill Edwards, he's kind of the middle of the road. He's not the worst. And it varies from parish to parish. Here in Jefferson Parish, you wouldn't know that much is going on if you look at the traffic, because it's about the same as normal, if not actually a little bit higher. Every morning I go to work because, I'm working on and off because the guy I work with, his wife came down with the Wu flu, and so they're trying to keep us socially distant so I don't carry back anything to my wife, who is Mrs. Louisiana Comorbidity 2020. But the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office is very light-handed on anything, really. So I saw in Kenner a bunch of young men out there playing football.
Whoa, endangering people. And did the police intervene and stop that dangerous plague-spreading gathering?
No, I think they showed up to bet on the team. Now, the thing that is amazing to me is that there is basically a treatment for this disease that is like 99% effective if applied in, the first presentation of symptoms, and yet the news media is not heralding this good news from the rooftops.
And what is that?
They keep back. Oh, that would be hydroxychloroquine, zinc sulfate, and azithromycin. Now, you can use Z-Pak as a substitute for azithromycin. And it was studied in France. It was effective. It was studied in there was a Texas nursing home where they gave it to 40 patients, and all the staff took a preventative dose, and they lost like one patient, and that may or may not have been the Wu flu that did that. And that was just the hydroxychloroquine, not with the zinc sulfate. And you see this being used all over the place, and yet the news media continues to act as though one viral in a person with a comorbidity, which, let's face it, in the United States, that's 60% of the population.
60% of the population has a comorbidity?
Which is probably like obesity.
Yes. Oh, obesity, right.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, whether you've diagnosed it or not, you've got it.
Well, what do you think the reason is? Why do you think the media is ignoring this?
I think they like empowering tyranny myself. Just between you and me. It could also be that the other theory is that the other treatment, which is proving promising, remdesivir, is Remdesivir is good luck saying that five times fast.
I don't think it'll catch on. But thank you for the call, Matthew. Appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely 100% agree. The reason why we're not talking about it, and also the media is attacking anyone who talks about any sort of potential cure, right? Now, Trump brought up hydroxychloroquine first. They attacked him for it because I think it was like known as an anti-malarial drug. I remember you brought this to my attention, Ian. The FDA sent a letter of warning to Alex Jones because he was selling silver products, silver antiviral products, which...
Well, wasn't he making claims about them?
Well, I mean, his claim was that his products would kill the coronavirus, which is true. I mean, if you expose a virus to silver, it would, it would kill it would kill it. That's why the pioneers would put silver dollars into their milk to make it last longer because of its antiviral properties. And Jones would sell colloidal silver and all of that. But it's like they don't want, the media doesn't want any sort of hope out there, right? And I mean, I understand it's important to be cautious, right, with like placebos or things that aren't going to work.
Well, placebos will work.
Well, I mean,
they're very effective.
I'm talking about for something like something that actually works compared to like works physically, not mentally.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. And so I understand the caution, but at the same time, they're saying like, oh, we can't do anything until there's a vaccine that comes out, right? In 18 months or
That's what
whatever.
They're saying in California. The governor there says this is the new normal and it's not going back.
And exactly, yeah. And Trump, to his credit, is saying that he hopes things will go back to normal, like total normal, right? Total normal within 3 months, I saw. And them hyping the vaccine is that's what's enabled their tyranny, because with a vaccine, there's going to be in Canada, I know there's a big push, and probably in the United States, there's people who are pushing for mandatory vaccines because they believe in this herd immunity thing, that if 99 out of 100 people have a vaccine and one person isn't vaccinated, then everyone is at risk, right? Which does, I mean, for the way I learned about vaccines, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like, what's the point of taking something if literally everyone else should be forced to, or otherwise it won't work? But yeah, I mean, I think it's just they don't want any hope out there. So thank you for the call, 855-450-FREE, F is in freedom. It's 855-450-3733. But yeah, I mean, it's if you'd like to call in. But yeah, I mean, it is we got to be cautious too, because they're just going after anyone who even talks about any hope that this coronavirus isn't as bad as what the media is saying. It's not all the doomsday scenario, but hydroxychloroquine works, which according to this caller, he said the study they did at the nursing home, which is really where they should be doing the studies too. That's where the majority of people, at least in Quebec, are dying, is in the elderly elder care nursing home. And it was Governor Cuomo of New York who said that nursing home employees had to go back to work, right? So I mean, that's the part of people are saying that's why it's been so bad in New York. And also, I saw some headlines that the reason why there's resurgences of coronavirus all around the country it could be traced back to people from New York leaving the state, right? So this is the governor who gets all the praise, right, over saying he could, they're saying that he could be he could be a presidential candidate, last minute to replace Joe Biden. I don't think that's realistic. And they say, oh, he's being held as the standard, even though he's totally botched it, the most amount of deaths. I'd say he's been one of the most incompetent state governments in regards to handling this thing. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but actually, the government's not the bad guys. We're the bad guys because we refuse to put on our damn masks. And we'll get into that coming up. 855-450-FREE, F is in freedom. That's 855-450-3733 if you'd like to call in. This is Free Talk Live.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault. A miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required. Only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
So you're wearing a mask every day now?
Yeah.
Where are you getting them?
Same website where I get my neck and body wraps, sunnybay.com.
Really?
And they're handmade. Just like their wraps in the USA.
Oh, and good quality?
Oh, very good. These are disposable face masks. And they make cloth face masks, too.
Good price?
That's the best part. 10 masks for only $6.
Wow.
As a public service, SunnyBay.com is now making cloth face masks by hand in the Seattle area and sourcing disposable face masks with level 1 protection at SunnyBay.com. Get a 10-pack of high-quality disposable face masks for only $6, or choose a handmade, washable, reusable cloth face mask with high 2 layers of quality cotton fabrics. Supplies are limited. Get details and order at SunnyBay.com, a Biomed DB design company. Go to sunny-bay.com for disposable or cloth face masks. Just click sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves. You can do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE. F is in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in studio, joining us is...
It's Ian.
And I'm your host, Vincent. And before we go to the phones here, I just want to tease some of the upcoming articles we will be getting into. And as I said, it's a tale of... Actually, not a tale of 3 governors, this show. It's a tale of 4 governors, because we have yet to talk about the... it was the imperious leader, Gretchen Whitmer, and her Michigan state officials consider gun ban after armed protesters. And we have Governor Moonbeam Of,
Is that California?
Yeah, of California. Yeah, apparently, they called him back because the guy's like a firm believer in UFOs, and at the time, I think it was him. And at the time, Governor Newsom, I was like, whoa, that's cool. Maybe he'll get the truth out about UFO back when I still believe in aliens. And then no, he's just like he's what you'd expect from a governor of California. But waiting very patiently on the Discord call-in lines, we have Misije, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that, calling in all the way from Uganda. Thank you very much for the call. What's on your mind?
Yes, thank you for accepting my call.
You sound good tonight. A lot of times we can barely hear you, so you must have a good internet connection today.
Today, I've changed the network provider, maybe. That's why I'm sounding better, I think.
All right, good.
Thank you very much for the work you're doing. I'm Joram Wesige. I work for a libertarian organization, actually a think tank that promotes libertarian ideas in Uganda.
Thank you for that.
It's called Action.
Uh-oh. This is always
and economic liberty.
Sorry, you
for the case of liberty,
you started to break up there. What was the point of your call tonight? What were you calling to share?
We are in East Africa, and the part of what?
What were you calling to share? What did you want to say on the radio tonight? Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about coronavirus in Africa, especially in Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Uganda has had 100 cases so far. Nobody has died so far.
Good.
But yes?
That's great news. Glad to hear that.
Yes, but that has come with a lot of costs in terms of liberty and economic liberty and actually economic liberty and abuse of rights.
So what has the Ugandan government been doing there? Because certainly in the United States and in other places we've seen restaurants being forced to close, businesses of all sorts being forced to close. Are you seeing that happen there? Is it worse? What's going on?
Uganda is under the lockdown now since March 18th.
Okay.
It's under lockdown. No public transport. Most of the business were closed, but a few has been opened partially. Those which have been deemed essential, which of course, all business that earn a living someone are essential, but the government has proved them not essential.
So it's
because
the
most
same
of Ugandans
stuff.
have.
It's like the governments all around the world are using the same playbook. They're shutting down every business unless they deem them so-called essential, causing tremendous economic destruction. And it's one thing, Vincent, to live here in the United States with a tremendous amount of wealth, right? Like we've got all kinds of things here that we take for granted. We've got cars that are everywhere. We've got heat. We've got, air conditioning. We've got all kinds of things that are just like normal to us. And then over in certain parts of Africa, they don't have a lot of the, the comforts that we do here in the U.S. And when you see the same kind of level of crackdown happening in a place that's already poorer to begin with, imagine how much more difficult that makes life.
Of course, everywhere crackdown is the order of the day. Government takes things for granted.
Do they have any plans to reopen up yet? Have they announced anything?
Of course, the government is looking at the cases. Is looking at the cases, how the cases are rising. Of course, we cannot tell the government's plan, but the people are very poor, as you know, Africa. Mm-hmm. They're agitating for opening.
And I heard that there's well, I just wanted to ask because I hear one concern from like the UN is that there's a risk of, since the pretty much the entire world economy is shut down, there's risk of famines in some of the more like at-risk areas in like in Africa. Is Uganda facing any issues like that?
Of course, Uganda has a poor population. Actually, 90% of the population is almost poor. So if you close the economy, the people will be in terrible trajectory. People in Uganda earn from mounts, actually earn a living each day. If they earn from hand to mouth,
mm-hmm.
They don't have. Most of them do not earn a salary. When the government closes, actually it is a terrible here. People are crying to the government each day. And most of them have come out to demonstrate, telling the government closing down is not the option. There should be a leeway.
You said they're coming down to. You said the people are demonstrating.
Something to eat.
You said the people are demonstrating.
Yes,
Has the government cracked down on the demonstrators?
Of course, people have been demonstrating, and government has been cracking them down, and some of the people are in prison. Actually, here it is a crime. It is a crime murder. It is attempted murder if a politician is seen by the government giving out food. Most of the people here are fearing even to give their neighbor food because the government, you cannot come out publicly and give food.
Wow.
You have to give them secretly. And some of the politicians, like MPs, are in prison. They have been actually tortured. Some of them are in coma because they are trying to give people food. So it is kind of challenging, and people are coming out on the street to tell the government, you give us some alternative. Or if you cannot give us a chance to go back and work, so give us food. Because even the government right now is going to the private sector asking for food and actually passing supplementary budget to buy food. And the food they are buying is not enough. You know, the food with the government is always,
well, government fails at everything, right?
Corrupted.
I mean, the government always
fails. The food
fails.
they are buying is not enough. It's not good. Some of the food is rotten.
Oh,
everything is not going well, actually. So the parliament, the executive, and the courts are all fighting for actually the money related to COVID-19, and Uganda has actually borrowed from.
You said they're fighting
21 million from IMF to inject in this COVID-19 pandemics.
So you said
the situation in Uganda actually is not right.
You said they're fighting over
the government
money
has
from
gone
the IMF?
on to deprive people from liberty.
That sounds awful. Thank you for sharing that tonight with us.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. I don't know if we're able to.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We might have lost.
Yes, I'm saying.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, you're here. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, I'm saying the government has gone on to deprive people of their liberty using a disadvantage. You know, we are living in a dictatorial government.
Oh, yes.
We are living under a constitutional dictator. So the government has taken an advantage and hiked and actually grabbed the situation and use it to whatever actually to prolong its power.
Yep, that's true all around the world. We're seeing it happening everywhere, Musige.
That is the dilemma we are in as citizens. The government, instead of fighting or putting on measures to help the lives of people, they're using coronavirus to assert its power. Assert its power.
Absolutely
true.
That
is the kind of the challenge actually we have here.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the call.
That's true everywhere. It's happening everywhere. I mean, it's the exact same thing.
And I mean, in this country, they just straight up say, in this country, a so-called, democracy, or it's constitutional republic, but a so-called democracy, you have politicians on the television saying, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And I mean, I think it's such a shame that that's what the people there have to go through with. I mean, it's. Obviously, much of Free Talk Live this past several months has been dedicated to us complaining about what the government's doing here, but it's even a bigger tragedy what's going on in the developing world, and it's that's the thing. You're not going to hear about that on the mainstream media. You're not going to hear about this whole coronavirus, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, being used all around the world for governments to crack down, take people's rights, especially in China. Arresting dissidents, and also the famine too, by the whole world economy shutting down. You're not going to hear about that. No, you're going to hear about how you and I are bad people because we're not staying inside and wearing masks. Coming up, going to be talking about the Governor Moonbeam saying that life is never going to get back to normal.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,724, silver at $15.55, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,820. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, on May 4th, the British court decided that the extradition hearing for WikiLeaks publisher Julian Assange, scheduled for May 18th, would be moved to September. Activist Post reports the 4-month delay was made after Assange's defense lawyer argued the difficulty of his receiving a fair hearing due to restrictions posed by the COVID-19 lockdown. The hearing at Westminster Magistrates Court proceeded without enabling the phone link for press and observers waiting on the line, and without Assange, who was not well enough to appear via video link. Sunday, May 3rd, marked World Press Freedom Day. As people around the globe celebrated with online debates and workshops, Assange was being held on remand in London's Belmarsh prison for publishing classified documents which exposed U.S. war crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan. Amnesty International renewed its call for the U.S. to drop the charges against the imprisoned journalist. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A veteran cop has been arrested for trafficking a massive amount of weed and cocaine. That headline comes from the Free Thought Project, which reports that 53-year-old Corporal Will Williams of Redding, California, was one of 3 people arrested by the California Highway Patrol as part of an investigation and raid due to what authorities are calling a drug warehouse. The other 2 are identified as Redding residents 40-year-old Heather Legault and 39-year-old Michael Gray. According to a CHP press release, they recovered over 138 pounds of processed marijuana, 332 marijuana plants, 30 grams of cocaine, 2 firearms, and $59,000 in U.S. currency. CHP Northern Division Chief Elizabeth Barkley explained to reporters that the investigation began when a citizen informed authorities of possible criminal activity inside the warehouse. Questions are being posed due to a new regulation from the Pentagon banning individuals who contract the coronavirus from serving in any branch of the military, as they will be permanently disqualified. Activist Post reports that given the massive spread of the virus and the rising number of individuals confirmed to have come into contact with it, the number of permanently disqualified candidates for military service will rapidly increase. As that happens, the world's superpowers are all shifting their military forces to automated robotic and artificial intelligence systems. Humans won't be needed nearly as much for military service. In fact, a few recent headlines document the trend, including one from Forbes saying robots will replace soldiers in combat, says Russia, while the Times reports that China boosts forces with robot weapons. And Newsweek states that robots will replace humans on the battlefield, predicts General. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This week, the Forest Service rolled out a brand new Smokey the Bear campaign in which the popular mascot burns to death. They say they hope the shocking turn will get people serious about preventing forest fires for once. The new campaign depicts Smokey the Bear noticing a family leave a flame unattended. Before he can put it out, the entire forest is consumed and Smokey dies in agony while trying to fight the blaze. Despite educating the public for over 70 years, the Forest Service says wildfires have only gotten worse and it was time to take their warnings to the next level. The new ads aim to show that if Smokey the Bear can be killed by the very type of fire he works so tirelessly to prevent, it could happen to anyone at any time. So what's next for the long-running campaign? Well, now that their primary spokesperson is out of the picture, the Ad Council says the PSAs will shift focus to a new character named Little Brian. He's the boy whose family caused the fire in the first place, and he's grappling with crippling guilt over Smokey's death.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Free Talk Live radio, where you control the airwaves, which you can do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE, F-R-E-E, F as in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in studio, we're joined by...
It's Ian.
And I'm Vincent. And before we get to the loaded phone lines here... we stop making fun of me. Have some. I'm just gonna tease some news coming up here. You wouldn't guess what's killing more people in the lockdown in Australia than the actual virus. Some that's bad, So yeah, it's. I know I said I wanted to have positive news, but that's but it's bad news. But it's news that we need to cover because I think it's gonna start killing more and more people in this country.
So it's not kangaroos.
No, not yet. It's not mating season for them yet, or I don't know. It's actually the seasons are the seasons are the opposite down in the southern hemisphere. So right now,
it's the fall.
It's fall, yeah. So are the murder hornets? Are they something that we should be worried about on top of coronavirus?
We covered that one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
The AP?
I don't know which story it was, but it was Monday night.
All right. Well, actually, I have a news article from AP on that, and
the short answer is no. The murder hornets are likely not going to be a big problem for individuals. They could be a problem for the bee population.
All right. That's it's one less article we're doing tonight. Thanks, Ian. So
You're
now
welcome.
we're going to the on-air call-in lines where we have Dave from New York on the line. Thank you. What's on your mind?
What's he mad about now?
Not really mad about anything. I'm sick of people wearing these stupid masks because, unlike some people, I refuse to wear a mask because I like to breathe. People like, laundromats are telling you to wear a mask, gas stations.
The laundromat?
No. The local laundromats, they say, oh, gotta wear a mask, gotta wear a mask. Yeah, well, screw them. I like to breathe.
Well, now, wait a minute, Dave. I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. I actually agree with you, but I'm going to try to play devil's advocate. Are you saying you hate old people and want them to die?
Virus, it's a scam. It's a hoax, Ian. There is no virus.
Well, I don't know if I would go that far.
That's a pretty extraordinary claim, Dave. That requires extraordinary evidence.
Well, how do you provide evidence of a thing that doesn't exist, if it indeed doesn't exist?
So that's right. You have to prove it exists, Ian.
But I don't know if it does exist. I just am presuming that what these people are saying, that the thing exists, is true. It's just I don't really care.
I'm afraid of death.
Huh?
Afraid of murder.
What? Your first syllables are getting cut off.
All I heard was murder.
I'm not afraid of death. I am afraid of murder.
He's not afraid of death. Okay, gotcha.
Well, who do you think might murder you, Dave? The police for not wearing a mask?
I am just saying, well, two questions here. I will not wear a mask. I will no longer wear a mask because I like to breathe the air.
Those
because
are
the air has
statements.
been around since like dinosaur age. Air has been around since the dinosaur age. And number two, what's the name of the song that goes wow wow wow?
That's a wrong. This is the wrong show to be asking that. I'm not sure, Ian. Do you know
the
what
band
song?
is Rebel Inc. I don't know which song it is offhand. Rebel INC. There you go, Dave.
Yeah, because I refuse to wear a mask
All right.
because I like to breathe.
Yes,
I like to breathe.
he's repeating himself now. So
All
I
right.
think that's
Well,
the third time he said
thank
the
you.
same
Thank
thing.
you for the call, Dave.
If you don't have questions for Dave, you got to end the call. You got to ask.
Well, no, I have questions for him. I don't. He didn't answer any of them. But like, who he's afraid of murdering him?
Right. If you can't get him to answer any questions, you got to end the call.
Probably probably
he'll
the
just repeat himself.
Like New York cops. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they start killing people for not wearing masks. So here we go. We're going to JT in Pennsylvania now. Welcome. Thanks for the call. What's on your mind?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Speaking of things that exist and don't exist, okay, I kind of had to write this down. So for what it's worth, I'm calling about the woman in Texas with the beauty parlor.
Good for her.
And
the heroic lady.
What's that, sir?
She's a hero because she opened her business without asking permission.
Talking about Shelley Lufer.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to clear something up that is going to be unclear.
Yeah.
Okay, so the habeas, and I'm reading now, so excuse me if it sounds sort of like I'm reading from a script, because I am. The habeas corpus was clear in her case, okay, because she opened her business, and she tore up her order, so she was in contempt. So that habeas corpus is clear in this case. As far as I know, one judge cannot rescind a contempt charge handed down by another judge. That's
This
silly.
was the Supreme Court. So apparently the Supreme Court can release although they haven't canceled the contempt charge, it sounds like they want to have a hearing.
Yeah. Here's the legal problem. She got released on conditional bail, bond, whatever. Okay. If the city manager where she lives, this is the legal problem, had declared a state of emergency, then all ordinance would be superseded by that state of emergency, meaning habeas corpus stands and it doesn't at the same time, because there is and was essentially no ordinance to violate. Therefore, she's guilty of nothing. And here's the twist.
Well, no, she's
Even if
guilty
a later
of
court,
she's guilty, if you want to believe the state position, the judge's position, of contempt of court, because the judge, man in a robe there in Dallas, ordered her to cease and desist with running her business. So she violated that order.
I would have to agree with the judge on that case, but the twist is that even if it's a latter court were to show habeas corpus, that could constitute double jeopardy. Violating an emergency order is another matter, and as far as the contempt charge,
where's the double jeopardy?
It's already been overturned by another judge.
Where's the double jeopardy here? Where's the double jeopardy?
The double jeopardy is that she can't be charged with nothing twice.
Well, she wasn't charged with nothing because she wasn't. First of all, she was. Now, look, I'm not an attorney. Are you?
Yes, I am.
You are an attorney.
I'm trying to. Yes, and I'm trying to explain it.
Okay.
I'm trying to explain it.
So then, wouldn't I be correct in saying that a contempt of court charge isn't the same as a normal charge? It's just a power inherent with the Western court system?
Absolutely, and I've never heard of any other case, and maybe some other attorney has or someone else has heard of a case where one judge, or it doesn't matter if it's a higher court, superseding them.
Well, wait a minute. Does double jeopardy apply to contempt of court?
No, it does not.
I didn't think it did.
There's nothing that I've ever heard of where one judge can just arbitrarily overturn contempt, and she's guilty of contempt.
Well, this is the Supreme Court. If anyone can overturn contempt, it would be...
So the double jeopardy twice.
Well, hold on. If anyone can overturn contempt, I would agree with you. Last night I said I don't think the governor can pardon contempt, and it doesn't look like he can because he didn't. But the Supreme Court is higher up than this judge, whoever he was, whichever district court judge in Dallas that did this. So I would say, in theory, yes, they could overturn his contempt ruling, and it sounds like they at the very least have temporarily released her from jail with the possibility of permanently overturning his contempt ruling. That's the way it's looking, but the case isn't done yet.
We'll give you the last word, JT, quick.
Excuse me?
I'll give you the last word, JT, quick.
Oh, I was just going to say, at the most, maybe she has a civil rights case, but there's no way she can sue the city.
No, they didn't. The city didn't act on her.
But she clearly has a civil rights case there, and that would be up to a civil rights lawyer to decide that.
Yeah, and I hope she takes it. I hope she goes for it.
She has plenty of money with this GoFundMe too, so hopefully she does. So if this doesn't happen to anyone else, thank you for the call, JT. So coming up, we'll be getting into why you're a bad person for not wearing a damn mask. 855-450 free. F is in freedom. It's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
So now I've got this pack of 4 Shar-Pei rescue dogs. Jimmy, Coco, another Shar-Pei, one pug who is Joe. I have stuck with the Dinovite for, oh my goodness, probably 5-6 years.
DINOVITE.com.
People remark on really how well my dogs look, what beautiful coats they've got. I tell them, yep, they get a regular diet of Dinovite with every meal.
Dinovite is nutrition.
All I have to do is say dog food. It's a pandemonium. They can be half asleep, and they're up and thrilled.
She just looks simple, squeaky clean.
You don't need to wait until a problem presents itself. It's far better to keep the dog happy and healthy at all times.
Dinovite for life.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
People do ask how they get Dinovite. I tell them I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey.
Who do you think you are?
Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves, so you can do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE. That's F as in freedom, 855-450-3733. And in studio, we are joined by...
It's Ian.
And I'm Vincent, and I want to talk to you about Divvy. Now, the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered master nodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at diviproject.org. That's DIVI project.org. So now we're going to go to the phones to Dave from Florida, who's been waiting patiently. Thank you for the call. What's on your mind?
Hello. Glad to be on.
Hey, thanks.
So the last caller, Dave from New York, you guys had to cut him off because you couldn't handle his argument. That's unfortunate. But
you got me. You beat me.
We had previously been chatting with Dave today about this very thing. You see, the thing about this virus is that when you are infected with the virus, it works a lot like the cat parasite. You're familiar? And essentially, you will stop believing that the virus exists. This is how the virus is protecting itself and replicating. So our theory is that Dave and all these huge influx of people who are denying the existence of the virus, that is basically a self-defense mechanism of the virus itself.
Well, that's an interesting theory.
That's horrifying. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, that's the cat virus is something that Dave has actually fought against. He had a altercation with Cat Freaks, which are a network of people who essentially feed stray cats in our major
I heard
cities.
about this. Yeah, so Dave was, I guess, targeting, or I'm not sure what he was doing. Somebody was coming
being targeted.
Somebody was coming and feeding cats at his apartment building, and he wasn't happy about it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
So maybe he was onto something. Well, thank you for the call,
I think that's
Dave
one of
from
his
Florida.
trolls. I think there's a group of people that kind of follow Dave in New York, the caller from earlier, around the internet, and they just troll him constantly. I think he's one of them.
So the Council of Daves.
I don't know what they call themselves.
That'd be fun if they just all call themselves Dave. All right, well, thank you for the call. So now, Ian, you're going to tell me why I'm a bad person for not wearing a damn mask.
Well, that's actually the title of this editorial or opinion piece at CNN.com, which is the actual headline is Why You Need to Wear the Damn Mask. Now, this seems like a newer phenomenon of having mainstream media actually cursing at their reader. I don't think that would have
light cursing,
Yeah, but I don't think that would have happened like 20 years ago in mainstream media.
Oh yeah, I don't think people would have standed for it. This is like the ultimate browbeating.
So, I mean, just the fact that that's included in the title is, I think, somewhat disreputable.
But it is an opinion piece, though.
It is. Yes. Going on here, they didn't have to include the word "damn" though. In the title, right?
I agree.
I mean, I'm not a prude or anything like that, but it's just like, come on, that's trashy.
Yeah, it's obnoxious, and it's because they couldn't come up with a more creative title or
well, they're
convincing
shaming.
title.
They're literally trying to shame people here, and that's what this whole story is about. So here we go from a woman named Catherine Perlman. She's a clinical social worker, associate professor at Brandman University, and the author of a book about ignoring certain things children do. So she says, go for a walk, visit any open establishment or public space, and you will note a disconcerting phenomenon. People without masks. There is a pandemic. Tens of thousands of Americans are dead because of COVID-19, a disease that spreads in droplets that are expelled by infected humans, including as they talk or cough, and whether they show symptoms or not. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that everyone wear a cloth face covering in public, especially where there is a high degree of community-based transmission. That is, when the source of infection is unknown. She says, I live in California where nearly 60,000 people have been infected. How many millions of people live in California? Dozens and dozens of millions?
Upwards of 30 million.
Yeah. Going on, though, she says across the country, 1.2 million Americans have tested positive for COVID-19, with more than 73,000 lives lost. And projections for the future are really grim, she says.
So I just want to say, 1 million people, or like upwards of 1 million of people, that's 1/3% of U.S. population.
That's right.
And then 70,000 deaths, which, I mean, all death is tragic, everything I know, but that's not even 10% of that number. So we're talking about like people dying after several months too, a fraction of a fraction.
And these are according to the government's numbers, which, as we've seen, are absolutely inflated.
Oh yeah, but we have to give up all
BS.
We have to give up all our freedom because of this.
Meanwhile, she says hospitals and their staff are pushed to the breaking point, caring for the sick, with medical staff working weeks without days off to treat the afflicted, risking their own lives and those of their family. But yet we've seen multiple stories about medical staff being actually laid off and sent home from work because there's actually nothing for them to do.
Oh, I've seen multiple score of TikTok videos, right? Some of these people on the nursing staff have so much time on their hands, they could choreograph dance videos.
Right. So what's the real story? Is it what she's saying is true, with all these medical staff are worked to the bone, or is it that a whole bunch of them aren't even working at all?
Well, Ian, don't believe in your lying eyes, right? Believe in this pearl clutcher on CNN.
So, okay, she says they're risking their lives and those of their family. And yet, so many people refuse to take warnings seriously to protect themselves and others by wearing a mask in public. It's hard to pinpoint how many of us are clueless and careless. Maybe half of those who go outside, a third, some other fraction, but it's certainly way too many. The lack of empathy is jarring. We need a shift. Now, let me say this, because I'm one of these people that does not wear a mask. I have not worn a mask, and I'm not planning on wearing a mask. That's not to say that I don't empathize with people, right? So to empathize would be to be able to put oneself in another person's shoes. If I were in a situation where I felt like I was in danger of being infected with this thing, then it would be my responsibility to protect myself. Meaning, I don't have a right to tell everybody else that they have to do a thing just so I can live my life more close to normal, right? Because the objection, and we haven't gotten through the rest of her story yet, but it seems like the objection from these people who are trying to shame others into wearing masks is, well, if you don't wear a mask, you're putting other people in jeopardy. Well, no, I'm not. Not if they don't come near me. Not if they don't go outside of their home. Stay in your home if that's what you're so worried about.
Well, absolutely. That's a very good point. And that's what it should have been from the beginning, was that people who had comorbidities or more susceptible to it would stay home. But now they have, like, we live in like this sort of twilight zone, right, where it's okay to go out to the grocery store or the liquor store, right, where probably people are, you know, getting sick from those places. But you can't go to the smaller store. You can't go to small businesses. All the big box stores you could go to. I mean, it's just totally ridiculous, totally for control, and now we're trying to get to the emotional argument. Coming up, we'll finish this article, plus getting to your calls, 855-450-FREE, Episode Freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556, or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces, even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. shop.freekeen.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you can troll the airwaves. But you can do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE. That's F as in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And before we get to the phone lines, which are piping hot, I want to talk to you about Liberty.menu. Now, for years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses. We're helping build one, Liberty.menu. Now, Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core, it's a directory. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of social network so you could connect and share with others. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu. So before we continue here with the...
More shaming.
More shaming. Yeah, that's exactly what we all need right now. I want to go straight to the phones where we have Carla in Oregon who's been patiently waiting. Thank you for the call. What's on your mind?
Hey, I wanted to change the subject for a moment to something that had a happy ending. There was a young man, 5 years old, living in Utah, and he was driving a car heading for California.
He was 5 years old?
A Lamborghini.
What?
I can't imagine. I think that is just. I'm first of all really glad.
Did I miss something? How old was this guy?
Ending, and I can't imagine.
No, she must have cut out. Hold on. How old was this guy?
He was 5 years old. He lived in Utah, and he had an argument with his mom. She wouldn't buy him a Lamborghini, which I'm impressed that he's got good taste in cars at a young age, because when I was 5, I was wondering if my big sister would take me to Dairy Queen for a dilly bar.
Okay, wait a minute. So he got in an argument with his mom and then did what?
Drove their I think it was an SUV.
What? At 5 years old, you can't possibly touch the pedals. I mean,
I know. You can look that story up on the. Oh gosh, I already forgot what it was on. It was a couple days ago.
Well, and you say that it had a happy ending. Was the kid
who screened my call beforehand? He had heard of it.
So you say it had a happy ending. Was was the child disciplined by his parents? Did he not total the car? Did the police?
I don't know. The parents were at work, so he helped himself to the car, and he told the officer. The officer saw him weaving back and forth. They thought they had a drunk driver, so they pulled him over, and to their surprise, a 5-year-old got out, and he said he was heading for California to get a Lamborghini, and he's got money, and he opened his wallet and had $3.
My God, it is in the news.
And I think the Lamborghini people need to endorse him for something for their Lamborghini, because I just think, again, that's amazing at 5 years old to have that great of a taste in car. I didn't even think about what kind of car I wanted until I was about 16.
Well, thank you for the call. That's actually an idea, for the Lamborghini to give the kid a sponsorship or something. Or the kid could invest in Bitcoin now, and then by the time he's old enough to buy a car or, get his license, then, Bitcoin will go up, so high that he could buy a Lambo to the moon. Thank you for the call. Next, we have Larry, who's listening in Indianapolis.
I want to know how this 5-year-old kid is driving an SUV without being, 5 feet tall at 5 years old. How the hell are you going to pull that off?
I know you could have, tie a bunch of textbooks to his feet so he could, get some stilts. So next we have Larry in Indianapolis. Thank you for the call. What's on your mind?
I'm laughing like hell at that. That's nothing but a bald face. No, a boss man lie.
You don't think the 5-year-old was driving this SUV?
No, that's not true. People believe anything they see on the internet. It looked like videos. The old movie with Moses and how he parted the Red Sea.
Yeah, Charlton Heston.
Everybody believes that because they seen the video performed by actors. But I want to talk about the healthcare workers. They are really a sickening bunch, right? They want to come on and talk about how hard they're working and how does somebody with coronavirus, does he cry different or something? Or is he so much pain that they can't stand to see it? Listen, professional, if you're a professional, right, the word professional means that you can perform your profession under any circumstances or whatever's going on around you.
Very true.
And without wanting somebody to come like a St. Bernard and slobber on you. Everything they come on programs, they have them on the radio. Hey, go get a bunch of St. Bernards, get you a bucket of slobber. When they come, brush them down with slobber. That's what they want. If you would want to help them, you should advocate for them to get more money. But that's really stupid. But with this disease, it's too many contradictory assertions being made and not being questioned. And we're being duped. The medical profession, they're just like any other profession, right? They want to do the job thoroughly when they do it. That's why they are limited to an advisory role, because you can't destroy your economy because 50,000 people died.
Well, just because there's a doctor with an opinion.
That's stupid.
Because remember, when they talk about doing the work of a doctor, it's called practice, right? So when the doctor is practicing and has an opinion about a thing, that doesn't mean that he or she should become some sort of an authoritarian dictator.
He should not.
To be able to determine. Yeah, the only thing they should be able to do is make recommendations to people, and then those people can either listen to those recommendations or not.
Well, that is true, but you know what I think have happened over the last maybe 30 years? People have gotten to being so political correct, right? And it's all because of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. That's where it all started, the political correctness. You cannot say, if you're a politician, you cannot even speak certain words or you lose your career automatically. So I think that's what's driving this whole thing. Nobody wants to be incorrect. They want to honor the scientists. They want to honor the pharmaceutical companies, which we were cursing and suing before all this happened. And we just can't perceive any chronological time frame or history. We're soon to forget it. But here in Indianapolis, they are making a fool out of people. They got people wearing, they're making fool out of people. People are wearing gloves, masks, sleeves, and everything. But I've watched the people interact with the gloves. You go and put the glove on the door. Mm-hmm. You put it everywhere you go. Then you take the glove home. You set the glove down on your countertop. You put the glove on. Maybe you touch your face. And then you breathe the mask. And then you suck in all the viruses and stuff that get stuck on the outside of the mask. You take the mask home. You set it down by your bed.
Well, that's why I'm saying to people, like, if you are very concerned. Thank you, Larry, for the call.
Thank you for the call there. Yeah, absolutely. And, we're saying that masks actually weaken, or not necessarily weaken the immune system, but not that I believe the government when they said a few months ago, oh, don't wear masks, they're ineffective. And then recently, oh, wear a mask. Everyone has to wear a mask. It's, yeah, I mean, it's like they're saying jump and all the sheeple are saying how high.
It's so sad.
It's so ridiculous. But thank you for the call there. And yeah, I mean, it's like people are, fear makes people do stupid things, including give up their freedom.
Yep.
855-450 free, F is in freedom. This is Free Talk Live. And coming up, we'll finish shaming you on why you should wear the damn mask.
See ya.
This is a pandemic survival alert, and the most time-sensitive messages you will hear this year. You still have time to plant a 1-acre crisis garden and secure a supply of your own nutrient-dense food. But time is running out, and it's one deadline you don't want to miss. Who should plant a crisis garden? Individuals, families, churches, communities, anyone or any group that sees hard times ahead. Let's face it, even the mainline media is talking about food supply disruptions and the growing number of grocery store workers who are becoming sick. But there's more. Meatpacking plants are closing, mile-long lines at food pantries, and more farmers now in financial trouble. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables this summer may be the single most important thing you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand what we're really up against. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Don't wait, every minute counts. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com. Now with orders to stay at home, public health concerns, the reality of illness due to pathogens and viruses, your health is at an all-time high risk. That's why it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. You can with new nano-colloidal silver from Americare, our patented process with tiny silver particles, 1/100th the size of a red blood cell, allows for maximum body absorption. Americare's nano-colloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it prohibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever, around $1 a day, but supplies are limited. Purchase nano-colloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Oh, yeah. Come on. All right. Welcome back, everyone. This is Free Talk Live Radio, where you can control the airwaves, which you can do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE, F as in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in studio, we're joined by...
It's Ian.
And I'm Vincent. Before we get to the callers, we just want to make a, I don't know if a retraction, just a correction. So, Ian, you doubted the veracity of a story about the kid taking a joyride. And
it's just hard to believe that a 5-year-old could reach the pedals of a car. But, I mean, there's video or there's photos the police took of him sitting in the front seat of this car.
CBS News, I think I saw that's where the article came from.
There's a few different sources. I don't have it in front of me at the moment.
But. Yeah, I saw it was from someone posted it in the on-air chat in the Discord. So it actually did happen. I
did see a photograph of him standing near his family members, and he is a very overweight little boy. And his mom, or whatever the adults were, she wasn't much taller than him. So, I mean, I guess he was able to pull it off. Somehow he was able to look over the steering wheel and reach the pedals on the floor. It's amazing.
Well, maybe if she wasn't that taller than him, maybe she had stilts of her own or had some sort of mechanism, like in a elevated pedals.
I'm impressed. Honestly, I'm impressed. The kid was driving a damn car at age 5.
What, you never went on a joyride?
No.
Me neither. No, man. If I went on a joyride with my dad's car, I wouldn't be like at 5 years old.
They pulled him over on the interstate, dude. He was on a huge highway.
He made it. Good for him, but no one, good that no one else got hurt or anything. But if I did that at age 5, at age 21, I wouldn't be able to sit down.
Mm-hmm.
So
because you'd get paddled. Is that what you mean?
Probably belt or maybe bare fist. If he was feeling generous, it'd be bare fist. And I grew up to be a better person for it. So now we go to Jason in Pennsylvania. Thank you for the call. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, that is a good story about that young man that decided to go for a little road trip. Anyway, you guys keep hammering on these masks, and I'm hammering on the masks usually in the opposite direction. And over the last several days, I've heard so many things I could talk about, but to keep it short, one of the reasons why everybody's being asked to wear masks is because the masks that you can actually buy do not protect you from other people's viruses. If you are the wearer and everybody else is not wearing them, okay, because you would need at least an N95 mask to protect you from the aerosols and such that other people would be emitting.
Okay. So is there any point in wearing the mask?
Well, the point of wearing these terrible masks that the ones that are actually available that you actually have to make yourself because we shipped all of our manufacturing over they're just like a diaper. They capture as much as we can come up with as a civilization right now in the United States, at least. They capture as much as possible. When I know I don't like the authority either, but in this case, these people are coming up with their basic idea is as a matter of public health, you have to do something to capture this stuff and to kind of keep it bottled up.
I don't have to do anything.
Hold on. When you say stuff, are you talking about like mucus and the droplets? When you say capture the stuff,
and aerosol, when you breathe out, you're shedding these particles. The masks don't do a great job at that, but they do something.
Okay.
And they're trying to make people safer here.
I don't care.
Well, I know you don't care, man.
Yeah.
How about this?
Because to me, I'd rather have freedom. I don't care about your safety. I'd rather be more free than take a damn risk.
Okay, now say you imagine you have a mother or grandmother.
I have a mother.
He wouldn't be here.
She's nearly 70 years old, and you know what she told me? She'd rather go to work.
What's that? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We should be going to work, but we have to do We have to do as much as possible to make the situation good. Now,
why?
How would you feel?
Why should we do as much as possible when, with every other infectious virus or disease or whatever, up until this point, we have not done anything out of the ordinary?
Well, this is the first one in my lifetime that's ever been on our doorstep.
No, dude. How old are you? Like 2? There's been a bunch of infectious diseases that people have been afflicted with over just the last couple of decades.
And swine flu, for one, India's country.
Yeah, but as far as the spread goes, this one is different. Now,
why? Just because they told you that?
The fact that you shouldn't have to wear a mask.
Why is this one so much different? Just because somebody said so?
Well, for instance, if you look on the internet a little bit, you watch doctors talking about. I mean, unless this is the grandest lie of all time, you'll see multiple doctors just having random meetings, even amongst themselves, not intended for the public to see. And this is damn. I mean, these
I don't care
hold on.
what
I see the opposite.
say.
I mean, I see that. I see doctors who believe it. I also see other doctors, like those doctors in California, who come out and say the opposite, and that gets scrubbed off of YouTube.
Ron Paul said people should be going out and about. Get outside, get out, get
so
some fresh
there's no
air.
medical consensus.
Yeah, and besides, I don't care what the doctors say. Those are just humans with opinions. And how do I know that they're not just a bunch of authoritarians?
Okay. Well, anyway, here's a hypothetical for you on. If it is unfair to ask people to wear masks, if I was, like, for instance, I was standing next to your grandmother in a grocery store, coughing like hell during a pandemic like this, and I refused to wear a mask.
If my grandmother was concerned, she shouldn't go to the grocery store.
Okay, so now you're saying that those who are wish to do the right thing and to try to keep themselves as safe as possible and keep others as safe as possible should not go to the grocery store in favor of those who choose not
go
to
hire
do anything.
somebody. Hire somebody to go to the grocery store for you. There's people who will do that now.
Or volunteer. People should be volunteering if they feel that strongly about it. All right, Jason, we'll give you the last word. Anything else you want to add?
Well, he doesn't get the last word because we're on for another hour and a half.
You're wrong. You're outnumbered and you're wrong. And you will
argumentum ad populum. Zing!
Yeah, he hung up.
You're outnumbered, he says. You know what? Well, I've always been outnumbered, so what's new? But that doesn't mean you're wrong.
No,
just because there's more people saying a thing doesn't mean that it's true. I mean, didn't people at one point believe that the sun revolved around the earth? Right? Didn't they put people to death over contradicting that viewpoint? I believe they did.
Yeah, they would. I think it was either Galileo or Copernicus. Yeah, Galileo definitely, and I think maybe Nicholas Copernicus also. But yeah. I mean, and it's like that. The reason why we don't live in a democracy, we live in a constitutional republic, not a democracy, because in democracies, you could have 51% of a population vote to kill or enslave, the other 49%. So, I mean...
Now they vote for representatives who then enslave the rest of the population.
Well, yes.
See, it's better with a republic.
Well, I mean, we were governed by laws instead of by people. And the laws that the Freemasons who founded this country came up with was, the idea was to have every man be a king on their own property.
Yeah, wish it were like that, but it's not.
Well, I mean, yeah, after years and years, that's why when they asked Benjamin Franklin, or someone asked him, they said, "What sort of government do we have?" He said, "It's a republic, man. If you could keep it." And we were unable to keep it because the promise of free stuff was just too good, and the government doing everything, wiping your butt, being your babysitter, providing everything.
Now this promise of safety, like this caller thinks, is so important. Safety. You need to just give up your rights, give up your freedoms, because, well, you wouldn't want grandma to die, now would you? You hate old people, obviously, if you just walk around acting like a free person.
And and it's I hate to go with all the cliche quotes, but a government that's powerful enough to give you everything you want is powerful enough to take everything away from you.
But if it just saves one person, Vincent, then it's worth it, right? To lose all freedom to save one person.
No, I disagree, and I don't really care if we're outnumbered, because that's why they invented automatic weapons, is because it doesn't matter if you're outnumbered if you're just a good marksman, right? You're repeating. I think it was like God made everyone equal, and Samuel Colt helped keep it that way, because when he created the repeating pistol. So coming up next, once we finally finish the browbeating article, we have some non-coronavirus related news. You wouldn't guess which founder of a major political news outlet doesn't care about justice and wants to see a President Biden, even if he's a sexual predator. I'm very disappointed, because I actually really did like that outlet. You have, speaking of Biden, he's trying to campaign to reverse due process rules on college campuses for sexual assault, right? We're living in bizarro world now. All of that's coming up, plus your phone calls at 855-450-FREE, F as in freedom, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now's your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,724, silver at $15.55, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,820. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, on May 4th, the British court decided that the extradition hearing for WikiLeaks publisher Julian Assange, scheduled for May 18th, would be moved to September. Activist Post reports the 4-month delay was made after Assange's defense lawyer argued the difficulty of his receiving a fair hearing due to restrictions posed by the COVID-19 lockdown. The hearing at Westminster Magistrates Court proceeded without enabling the phone link for press and observers waiting on the line, and without Assange, who was not well enough to appear via video link. Sunday, May 3rd, marked World Press Freedom Day. As people around the globe celebrated with online debates and workshops, Assange was being held on remand in London's Belmarsh prison for publishing classified documents which exposed U.S. war crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan. Amnesty International renewed its call for the U.S. to drop the charges against the imprisoned journalist. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. A veteran cop has been arrested for trafficking a massive amount of weed and cocaine. That headline comes from the Free Thought Project, which reports that 53-year-old Corporal Will Williams of Redding, California, was one of 3 people arrested by the California Highway Patrol as part of an investigation and raid due to what authorities are calling a drug warehouse. The other 2 are identified as Redding residents, 40-year-old Heather Legault and 39-year-old Michael Gray. According to a CHP press release, they recovered over 138 pounds of processed marijuana, 332 marijuana plants, 30 grams of cocaine, 2 firearms, and $59,000 in U.S. currency. CHP Northern Division Chief Elizabeth Barkley explained to reporters that the investigation began when a citizen informed authorities of possible criminal activity inside the warehouse. Questions are being posed due to a new regulation from the Pentagon banning individuals who contract the coronavirus from serving in any branch of the military, as they will be permanently disqualified. Activist Post reports that given the massive spread of the virus and the rising number of individuals confirmed to have come into contact with it, the number of permanently disqualified candidates for military service will rapidly increase. As that happens, the world's superpowers are all shifting their military forces to automated robotic and artificial intelligence systems. Humans won't be needed nearly as much for military service. In fact, a few recent headlines document the trend, including one from Forbes saying robots will replace soldiers in combat, says Russia, while the Times reports that China boosts forces with robot weapons. And Newsweek states that robots will replace humans on the battlefield, predicts General. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Overburdened with material comforts, America's wealthy can expect another disappointing holiday this year. As Brian Scott tells us, the rich will simply be buying too many things to experience the true meaning of Christmas.
All across the country, those at the top of the economic ladder are denied a privilege that the poorest of the poor take for granted. Rather than fall victim to the rampant consumerism that seems to increase each year, the poor find meaningful joy in simple Christmas traditions, like singing carols to keep warm and hugging relatives who have not yet died. At stores like these, the spiritually bereft must scramble for popular holiday toys in a vain attempt to duplicate the Christmas-time happiness that the impoverished enjoy.
Poor people are grateful for just a roof over their heads or something to eat. My wife and I are both lawyers, so that's not enough for us. I certainly hope poor people don't take what they don't have for granted.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live radio, where you control the airwaves, and you can do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And in studio, we are joined by...
I'm Ian.
And I'm Vincent. And Ian, you're gonna finish telling us why we need to put on a damn mask.
This is according to CNN, and of course, I am not in agreement with the viewpoints expressed, but I thought it was entertaining, so I wanted to bring it up. The story here is actually titled "Wear the Damn Mask" or "Why You Need to Wear the Damn Mask" by a woman named Catherine Perlman. So she says it's hard to pinpoint how many of us are clueless and careless. Maybe half of those who go outside, a third, some other fraction. The lack of empathy is jarring. We need a shift. We need our leaders, all of them, to get the message out loud and clear. By the way, I don't have any leaders, and I don't want to be told what to do by these politicians. I don't believe a thing that they say, and I don't care what party they're from.
Well, and neither does anyone else, right? When she says they need to get the message out, it means they need to force people to put these masks on, like in Massachusetts.
If you are away from the closed system of your home, the message should say you must wear a mask. That means to employers mandating that workers of all kinds mask up. Do they want the disease to spread or to subside? Do they want business and economy to eventually come back, or don't they? Masks of... By the way, the economy would have been just fine had none of this government crap been shoved down anyone's throat. Would some people have died? Yes. Some people died anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now,
but at least there would be food that would be plentiful, and jobs would still be had, and you wouldn't have record numbers of unemployment and so on.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And you see the majority of people dying are in nursing homes or elderly,
Right.
have comorbidity. But if we have a depression in this country, just imagine all the people going to be dying from suicides because they lost their jobs, from malnutrition, all around the world and the developing world. Absolutely.
Tremendous numbers. She goes on to say, masks of any kind are not perfect barriers for contagion. Wearing one doesn't offer full protection and shouldn't be thought of as foolproof. A foolproof way, safe way to interact. But experts report that wearing a mask does help protect against transmission by asymptomatic carriers. And note that data show, according to, among others, Robert Redfield, President Donald Trump's CDC director, that likely 1 in 4 people infected with COVID-19 are indeed asymptomatic and unaware of their contagion. So again, the suggestion here, and there's a little bit more, but the suggestion here is that all these people who are afraid of getting sick should also just go ahead and be able to walk around because everyone else will wear a mask in order to give those people some extra leeway. And I don't owe those people that. I don't owe them anything. If you want to quarantine yourself, then take that seriously and stay the hell out of public and let the rest of us do the work that we intend to do. She goes on to say, be prudent, be kind. One can think the government's response to the virus is an overreaction and still wear a mask, just in case you might make someone sick. That's reality, she says. Wearing a mask is cumbersome, it's hot, and it's uncomfortable, but it can save lives. Well, you know what else can save lives? If no one ever gets behind the wheel of a car ever again.
Very true.
You will save tens of thousands of lives every year, let alone all the people who you will save from getting injuries, who maybe won't die, but will end up with broken limbs or perhaps missing limbs from car accidents. So why don't we just go ahead and save all those lives? You know what? We can also save people from drowning by stopping them from being able to, pull a bath in their house. Let's get rid of all bathtubs, get rid of all pools as well, because, children drown in pools.
All sharp corners. We're only allowed to have round circular tables.
Right. So look, there's risk involved in life, and these people think they can get rid of it and just force people to wear whatever they want. Going on, she says it can save lives and ease the burden on those doctors and nurses facing unspeakable pain and suffering on the front lines. Well, those few that are actually working. Making personal sacrifices for the public good has not always been an American priority. We are an individualistic culture, and by nature, we may find it more difficult to empathize with others when our own freedom and liberties feel like they're on the line. There's resistance to allowing the government or anyone else step in and require, or even strongly urge Americans to cover their faces. But surely we can all understand that sometimes regulations are in place to protect people from themselves, or to avoid suffering of the community. See, your individual rights don't really matter, is what she's saying, because somebody else might get hurt. Somebody else might get sick. So therefore, we get to tell you what to do. She says we require drivers to wear seatbelts. Well, no, we don't. Not in New Hampshire, lady. And you know what? Most people do it anyway because it's a good idea. To protect the passengers and minimize the potential for serious injuries. She says laws require children to have vaccines, not only for the child's sake, but to maintain herd immunity for all of us. We don't have a vaccine for COVID-19, but we can all help until we do.
Well, and first off, where do they have laws that everyone needs to be vaccinated? I know certain schools only let the children in if they're vaccinated, but I do hear in some states are removing religious exemptions now for vaccines. So that's horrifying because I never knew there were any laws on the books forcing people to get vaccinated.
Back in the early 1990s, she says, I was a social work intern in the HIV/AIDS unit at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York City. AIDS was still a death sentence, and every worker and visitor took universal precautions to avoid transmission with all patients. The prevailing wisdom then and now is that when it's impossible to assess by looking if someone could be infected, wear gloves and masks. We protected ourselves. Yes, wearing gloves was uncomfortable. So was getting HIV. Where are our universal precautions for COVID-19? Wearing a mask in public is an act of respect for your fellow humans. No, it's an act of obedience. And you know what? Again,
it's dehumanizing too. I can't understand anything anyone says wearing a mask.
That's a great point. It makes it harder to understand people. It makes it harder to see their facial expressions. It's disconnecting from humans. Yet she says it's empathetic. She says it's the kind of empathy I try to teach my children. Our kids are watching the adults through this pandemic, and they are learning lots of lessons, intended and unintended. I want my children to understand that being mildly inconvenienced for the greater good is not only right, it's a moral imperative. It's how we manage to live together in relative safety in our society. It's a no-brainer. Wear the damn mask.
Well, are you convinced, Ian?
No.
Would you say, does anyone think that's convincing?
Well, I mean, I get what she's saying if you view life from her perspective. And her perspective is safety is the paramount. So anything is justifiable as long as it increases safety. She says, well, it's just a minor inconvenience. But, you know, it's still something that is a choice that people don't have to make, because I shouldn't be inconvenienced because somebody else is afraid. If you're afraid, you inconvenience yourself. You lock yourself up. You call Instagram or whoever, Instacart, call Instacart, call up these people and tell them you want somebody to bring food to your doorstep and leave it there so you don't have to see anybody, you don't have to touch anybody, and you can stay out of society, because society should be a place where people can be free and productive and do what the hell they want to do. And for those of people who want to live in fear, your fears shouldn't affect me or anybody else.
And and how the way it affects children also, where I mean, I imagine her to be the type who's called, this is why we're not allowed to play dodgeball in schools. That's
sure.
why for most
Safety.
schools. That's why there's
someone might get hurt.
A lot of places there's no playgrounds anymore. And if there are playgrounds, you're not allowed to run on the playground. I remember that. That was like the worst rule back in elementary school. And I mean, life is about facing fears, right? And we have a whole generation of ninnying people. And this is why I think people my generation are becoming very, very statist, because their whole life they've lived in this protective bubble of the state, of the public schools. And, the government's gonna save us. And if anyone is speaking out against that, if anyone values freedom over safety, they're a threat. They get the police called on them. They get socially ostracized.
And now it's even worse than it's ever been.
Oh yeah,
now this gives people the excuse to be all high and mighty from her perch. She knows what's best for society, and you're not doing it.
No, yeah, and we're going to use this. I mean, I'm afraid that a lot of this is going to be irreversible. And and whenever they bring in life or death, that's like an emotional trigger for people just giving up their rights. It's like V for Vendetta. There's this big virus here. We have to let the government totally take over and keep people safe, even though the crisis was manufactured by the government from the start. I don't know. What do you think? Were you convinced by that argument? You can call in, let us know. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
So now I've got this pack of 4 Shar-Pei rescue dogs for, oh my goodness, probably 5-6 years. They get a regular diet of Dinovite with every meal.
DINOVITE.com.
People remark on what beautiful coats they've got. I tell them, you don't need to wait until a problem presents itself. It's far better to keep the dog happy and healthy at all times.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret Shaving Oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves, which you can do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE. F is in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And in studio, we're joined by...
It's Ian.
And I'm Vincent. And now I want to just go over this quick article here. The Empire, or rather... I guess it would work out if this was New York, right? Because the Empire State strikes back, but now you can't have any law. Your guns are very, very banned there. So now the Empire is striking back in Michigan, though, right? Many of you have probably heard that there was an armed demonstration at the state capitol in Michigan. Citizens demanding that the government, that the state, not even that the state open up. I think it was just like the Governor Whitmer, the fascist running that state. She has been like the most draconian out of all the other states, I believe. At least her, to the point where even
New York.
I suppose besides New York, and she's getting in trouble with the state legislature regarding how draconian her laws are. So now she's trying to strike back. Michigan state officials consider gun ban after armed protests, and this was actually out of all places from AlJazeera.com. Legislators in the state of Michigan are reportedly considering new measures to ban guns from inside the state capitol building after armed protesters staged a provocative protest there last week and prompted criticism from across the political spectrum in the United States. Hundreds of anti-lockdown demonstrators, some of them armed, gathered at the state capitol building in Lansing, Michigan last Thursday during a session which a skeleton crew of state legislatures gathered to consider a measure rebuking Democrat Governor Gretchen Whitmer's response to the coronavirus pandemic. Well, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's sort of ridiculous that they, in my view, unless they didn't know what was happening at the time, to protest the state, at the state capitol when the legislature was thinking of rebuking the governor for what they're protesting against. Maybe they had no idea what was going on. I don't know. The protesters, as well as many legislators, said the governor's measures, among the most strict in the nation, were excessive. On Wednesday, the Republican-led state legislature sued the governor in an effort to block her emergency measures. See here. John Truscott, the Republican vice chair of the Michigan State Capitol Commission, which manages, maintains, and restores the buildings and its grounds, told local news outlets in Michigan that the commission is considering the logistics of a possible ban. Quote, "We've been dealing with what is the law, what is our jurisdiction. If there is any possibility of limiting people bringing loaded weapons into the building," Truscott said. Critics of the gun-toting protesters came from across U.S. political spectrum after images of them were broadcast across the country. Even Fox News Channel commentator Sean Hannity, a noted conservative supporter of gun rights and confidant of President Donald Trump, described the sight of armed, screaming protesters, many of them dressed in military clothing, as counterproductive to the cause. So now...
Yeah, you played a clip from that last night
disgusting.
On your after show, Questioning Authority, which happens usually Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m. on our DLive and Twitch channels at dlive.lrn.fm and twitch.lrn.fm. And it wasn't just Hannity. There was also some other show that took a clip from Hannity.
Oh, yeah, Outnumbered. Yeah.
Another Fox show with multiple hosts on there. And, of course, they were all echoing, "Oh, yes, I agree with Sean. Whatever you say, keep those guns away. Oh, we like your gun rights, but just don't show them."
Yeah, absolutely. Keep your guns buried in your backyard until, it's too late and you're put into the camp. So,
well, okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate here on this one, Vincent. So some people would say that, well, see what happened? You brought the guns out. Look, I support your gun rights, but you brought guns out, and now they're talking about banning them from the State House. See what happens when you exercise your rights?
I mean, I do understand that position. I think that maybe it was a little bit excessive for them to show up with guns in the Capitol for this.
Why? It happened in New Hampshire. Was it excessive here?
Well, that was afterwards. I mean, well, first off, the Michigan, there were more guns. Because that was the one militia. And there's a stronger militia movement in Michigan because militias
there were just
are actually
guys
legal
with
there.
guns in New Hampshire. I mean, there was the New England, whatever they called themselves.
Boogaloo crew.
Yeah, but then there was also just dudes there that were carrying guns.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, I think that people have become afraid of guns, right? The U.S. is full of guns, but the average person, and at least what I've encountered on a college campus, people are terrified of it. Even if you're being safe with it, just say, hey, look, I'm just letting you know I'm carrying. People you just show a gun in the holster, and people lose their mind. If you just mention someone that having a gun, people lose their mind, and it's unfortunate because this country's founding, right? Like everyone almost essentially needed a gun to hunt or to defend themselves, and just what happens when when seconds matter, the police are minutes away.
Yeah, sure.
So these we're just it's becoming a nation of. I mean, I want to say
ninnies.
Yeah, ninnies. I want to say sheeple, but sheep are actually better able at defending themselves than the average American. So we go to the phone lines here. We have James from Arizona waiting patient. Well, let's not make any assumptions, Ian. Well, James from Arizona. Well, he wants to talk about corruption and lies. Thank you for the call. What's on your mind?
If I were to receive just compensation, like a Bitcoin for every time I heard you for years saying that I have 3 allegedly now it is Deweys, not to mention all the awful things that Ian Bernard and Mark Edgington, who call themselves ministers, have said about me that aren't true, including, you may laugh, Vincent, but Ian Bernard, if you were my son, Vincent, he literally would be in an assisted living home right now.
You'd beat your own son to death? Or near to death?
You're talking about you, Ian.
Huh?
I'd beat you, Ian.
If I were your son, you would beat me to the point where I have to live in an assisted living facility.
Just as I had to tell a Federal Bureau of Investigation officer over the phone who asked me about smashing your head into pavement, Ian Bernard.
You've said much worse.
I told him, yes. I told him that I'm a Roman Catholic and that, lucky for Ian Bernard, who called me a liar on the public airwaves about something that isn't true, that you've repeated if you pay me a Bitcoin for every time you repeated it,
well, you're repeating
is that
yourself
all
now.
you want now? Is a
I'd go
Bitcoin
to training
for every time?
I'd take all. You owe me way more than $500,000 if you two just had to pay me for every time
I don't know
you
you
mention a lie
squat.
about me.
You know what? I put you on the air on this radio show every time you call in, and you've called in for years, and you're boring.
You're never finished, James.
And you keep on bringing up the same old crap. You don't bring anything. Almost never do you bring anything new to the table, and you just keep on harping on things that happened, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago now, or however the hell long it's been.
It's been too long
that you've been calling in.
So we go to
pathetic.
We go to Dodger in Michigan. Thanks for the call. What's on your mind?
Well, first off, I haven't been tuned in, but all hail Whitmer. Sorry. Kind of a joke here in Michigan, in my circle anyway.
Is she popular?
I think it was.
No.
Being facetious.
People don't like her. What I can say is the irony of being a quote unquote essential worker. First off, I got laid off from my under the table job.
Damn.
When the ban went into place, and I had to find work immediately because I can't just live off the state through unemployment. So I found legitimate, quote unquote, legitimate employment through a national chain of pharmacies. Now it's rather funny that there are people out there that have their bathrooms unlivable, kitchens unlivable. The type of work that I normally
all right,
do.
sorry, Dodger. Hold on. We're coming up against we're going up against a hard break. Coming up, we'll get to your funny story. And Australia projects more deaths from this thing under lockdown than coronavirus. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The entire nation has been transfixed by the emotional saga of missing toddler Aaron Crawford. Police remain baffled by 4-year-old Aaron's mysterious disappearance. The Crawford family is finally speaking out, but it isn't easy.
We're taking it day by day, you know? We just miss our baby so much.
This must be so hard on everyone.
All he does is cry. I hate him.
Little Aaron was last seen in the bedroom he shares with his older brother, Denny. Authorities say he was abducted by an intruder in the middle of the night.
Denny was in the room when Aaron was taken.
Yeah, right here. Now it's just my room.
Denny, can you tell us what happened?
I was in my room. The man lifted up the window and came in.
Were you scared?
Yes, because I thought he's going to take my Xbox.
This is the Onion News Network. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
All right, here we go. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves. You could do so by calling in at 855-450-FREE, F as in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And before we get back to Dodger, who had a funny story he wanted to tell us, so he's waiting patiently on the line, we'll talk to you about Forkfest 2020. We could join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th until July 5th. For Forkfest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire.
What may be the only remaining festival in the world?
In the world?
I have no idea.
All right, wait, let's trademark it.
A lot of stuff has been canceled.
But, well, I guess it's probably not the time to talk about it being canceled while I'm doing the read. But, so you're on good authority that it probably, like, this isn't...
As far as I'm told by the owner of the park, he's planning on everything being as normal.
Wonderful. That's great news. And I guess barring, all of us getting, black bagged and put into a FEMA camp. Well, I mean, and if we're put into a FEMA camp, we'll just have a different kind of party then. Except there won't be food. We'll probably all starve. But so Forkfest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and Forkfest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 29th until July 5th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You could simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you could create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for Forkfest, be sure to let others know in advance. You could connect with other Forkfesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the Forkfest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That's FORKFES. T.party. P-A-R-T-Y for people who can't spell. All right, so waiting patiently on the line is Dodger.
You were telling a story. Can you recap it briefly?
Finish up. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, sure. First off, by funny, I don't mean funny. It's ironic.
Okay.
To recap, I got, there was lack of work. I wouldn't call it a layoff. There was lack of work. As soon as Governor Whitmer put in the first executive order saying that essentially we were non-essential. Now, keep in mind that the day that she announced this, we tore apart a woman's kitchen, tore it apart. And we could not go back to work the next day. As far as I know, the poor woman's kitchen is still torn apart. And I go to the grocery store and everybody treats me like a leper, treats everybody else like a leper and all this. And I go to work and people are willing to stand within 2 feet of me because I'm a quote unquote essential worker because I work at a national chain pharmacy, and they're willing to hand me their dirty cash and all that stuff. And somehow there's something different when I'm selling people cigarettes, beer, and junk food.
Well, the essentials.
And pop.
Does
apparently, and
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is there any sort of plan to reopen yet? Does the governor have any sort of plan to reopen the state like there is in New Hampshire or Georgia or Texas?
Well, sort of, kind of, except that the governor just got sued by, I guess, the state speaker and a bunch of the Republicans, which I'm totally for that. I mean, and she's calling it partisan where, I live in a state that the Democrats are concentrated, or I'm sorry, I'm libertarian, but the people that support this are concentrated in probably about 5 or 6 metro areas in the state. And the vast majority of the state has seen almost no effect from this. Especially, the UP, the Upper Peninsula, I'm sorry, that the majority of the counties up there have seen 0 cases or 1 or 2.
Huh. But they're shut down.
And the vast majority of the people are from the Detroit area. Now, a little bit of further irony with all of this is in the state of Michigan, now that cannabis has been legalized, recreational dispensaries are still open.
Well, that's good.
Well, yeah, except that I still get my stuff from the black market, but it's just kind of funny that people can't legally go get a haircut, yet they can legally go get pot.
Now, are you getting the weed from the black market because it's cheaper?
No, I just don't want to deal with the state bureaucracy.
Interesting.
I love agorism.
Cool.
So, well, actually, yeah, now that I think of it, it is. I went to a recreational dispensary one time, and I'm sorry, my dealer gives me much better deals than that.
Okay, well, what you're pointing out here is that this whole lockdown thing is just completely political. It's totally arbitrary.
It's totally ludicrous. And thank you for the call, Dodger. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. It's illegal federally, right? And
what
yet,
is?
Cannabis.
Oh, yeah.
Cannabis is illegal federally, and yet the cannabis dispensaries are essential.
Yeah.
it's absolutely
in
ludicrous.
some states. In other states, like I think Massachusetts, they closed the recreational, but they kept the medical ones open.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, like, not that I agree, but at least it makes a little bit more sense to have the medical ones, open. Not that what this Massachusetts or any state does make much sense. And now here, I mean, it's some sad news. But I think it's an important thing to bring up, right? It's a harbinger of what might happen here in the United States. This is from a Daily Caller. Australia projects more deaths from suicides in lockdown than from the virus itself. Australian researchers projected Thursday that more deaths it repeats a headline, researchers at Sydney University predicted an additional 750 to 1,500 suicides per year for up to 5 years as a result of the impacts of a pandemic and economic shutdowns imposed to curb its spread, according to a piece published in the UK Telegraph. The model predicts that the increase in suicides will be much higher than the nation's coronavirus deaths. The suicides will also affect young people due to widespread closures, with 30% of the newly projected suicides being young people.
Okay, the main objection on this one, I want to hear what you have to say to it. So again,
Yes.
devil's advocate here, is, well, that's sad, but they chose to kill themselves. Unlike contracting COVID and dying, you don't choose to do that.
Well, I don't think anyone, unless someone's absolutely deranged or just curious to see what's on the other side, I don't think anyone willingly I don't think anyone wants to kill themselves.
Well, yeah, they do. That's why they do it.
It's because they're driven by factors that's beyond their control. I mean, my understanding...
But you always have the choice to not do it.
Oh, absolutely. I agree, and I think it's a terrible choice to make, but people are driven, and it's unfortunate, but and this government... this government-forced lockdown isn't helping things. What was it? I think first, if you're caught violating social distancing, someone from Australia told me this. That's a $1,000 Australian dollar fine, right? And we played on it was on one of the evening QAs. We played a clip. Just a few guys are drinking beer on a roof, and they're surrounded by cops and helicopters. Yes. And so, and Australia is as big of a police state as Canada. I hear. In some cases worse, which is unfortunate. It's at the frontier of the world. One would think that they be more, have that frontier spirit, but and especially since the nation was essentially founded by criminals, right? It was a penal colony.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's I guess it's the ultimate irony. So that's just so unfortunate. But yeah, I mean that's my response to that. I mean, like, I think it's a terrible choice, and I don't think anyone should do it. But it's not like, oh, I really don't want to have to go to work today. It's, I can't go to work. I can't get a job. I've been replaced by a machine. I've been laid off. I'm non-essential. I can't feed my family. I'm a failure. And at least that's what I imagine someone in that case would be suicidal. And I mean, people, when they are suicidal, a lot of the times they're not thinking straight. It could be if they're drinking alcohol or on some other drugs, it could make it even worse. A lot of people who kill themselves are drunk at the time because it's much it's much easier to do something drastic.
Yeah, and another response is this woman earlier was shaming us for not having empathy, but I will say the same thing is true in reverse. The people who want to lock everybody down do not empathize with those who would kill themselves because of it.
Absolutely, it's sick. This is Free Talk Live.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 29th to June 1st for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into UFOs, ancient civilizations, crop circles, and so much more. Over 150 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts: Paul Hellyer, Linda Moulton Howe, Nick Pope, Emery Smith, Stephen Greer, Russell Targ, Doc Wallach, Leslie Kane, and more. Get your tickets at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
You know what's really smart?
Wash your hands frequently, practice social distancing, and stay home if told to do so.
You know what's really dumb?
To ignore your immune system.
Right now, more than ever, your health depends on a strong immune system.
The experts at Immunicorp will give you their 7-step guide to immunity for life, free.
Why? Because we want you to be smart and healthy.
Simply call 800-446-3063 or click immunityforlife.com.
Immunicorp has been producing the world's leading immune system products for more than 2 decades.
To get your free 7-step guide to immunity for life, call 800-446-3063. 800-446-3063.
Be smart. Don't ignore your immune system. Your life depends on it.
Call 800-446-3063 or click immunityforlife.com. Immunityforlife.com.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required. Only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone, to Free Talk Live Radio, where you control the airwaves. And I want to give a very, very, very special thank you to our Silver Amplifier Seahaw. And Ian, how much is the how much do Silver Amplifiers contribute? So $5 a month. So thank you, Seahaw, for your generosity and helping us keep the lights going here. And if you'd like to have your name or pseudonym read on the air, or or not, if you just want to help out the show, you could go to amp.freetalklive.com. It's amp.freetalklive.com. And so, I kept saying, let's have some positive news. And I'd say this is positive news just because, we see, in my view, a corrupt person outing themselves, someone who has zero integrity or morals. This is from a Daily Caller. This is the headline. I don't want justice. Politico founder wants President Biden, even if he's a sexual predator. So,
it's not like he'd be the first sexual predator in the presidency.
No, by all means. But in this case, people should know better beforehand. And now, so one of the founders of Politico admitted that he doesn't want an investigation into former Vice President Joe Biden regarding allegations of sexual assault because it could hurt Biden's chances to win in 2020. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, as if that's going to hurt Biden's chances. A piece from the New York Times published Monday showed published letters to the editor regarding a May 2nd piece from the editorial board titled, quote, Investigate Tara Reade's allegations. Reade has accused Biden of sexually assaulting her while she worked as a Senate staffer in the early 1990s. Martine Tolchin, a co-founder of Politico and The Hill, as well as a former member of the Times' Washington bureau, wrote in and admitted that he didn't want an investigation into the allegation. Tolchin wrote that this was simply because it could damage the chance to beat President Donald Trump, adding that he didn't even want justice for Reade if her allegation proved true. Now, this is epitome of Trump derangement syndrome. Ian, have you ever heard that term before? Yeah, so where people just, throw all logic and reason out the window just because they hate, just because Orange Man bad. Quote, I totally disagree with this editorial. I don't want an investigation. I want a coronation of Joe Biden. Tolchin wrote,
Isn't that what you give a king?
Yes, yeah. According to the NYT. Presidents have inaugurations, right? Kings have royalty has coronations. Quote, I don't want justice, whatever that may be. I want a win, the removal of Donald Trump from office, and Mr. Biden is our best chance.
Wow. If he's your best chance, what does that say about their choices?
Oh, absolutely. So Tolchin appeared determined to beat Trump at all costs. Well, suppose an investigation reveals damaging information concerning his relationship with Tara Reade or something else, and Mr. Biden loses a nomination to Senator Bernie Sanders or someone else with a minimal chance of defeating Trump, Tolchin wrote. Should we really risk the possibility? Man, I don't think that's true at all. I always
think
thought
Sanders had a better chance.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and Sanders is able to stay awake for TV appearances, and Sanders, as far as we know, other than that disgusting, dirty, erotic essay or whatever he wrote.
Wasn't he like in his 20s or something, or 30s? He's pretty young when he wrote that.
He didn't look young when he wrote it. I mean, it looked like he was born an old man. The New York Times editorial, the editorial piece that Tolchin was so frustrated with pushed for an investigation of Reade's accusations. So, and I mean, it's just so sad. These people are the ones who are, founding news organizations and stuff. And I mean, at this point, the mainstream media, and I'll add the alternative media too, because they've also been pretty bad recently with Trump. I mean, they're just propaganda outlets for both parties. There needs to be an alternative media now, unfortunately. And riding on the coattails of this, Here we go. And just more hypocrisy. I couldn't believe this when I saw it. Department of Education and Trump campaign criticized Biden promise to reverse due process rules for campus sexual assault. So it's as if a man, as in Biden, has no self-awareness whatsoever. So both the Department of Education and President Donald Trump's campaign pushed back on 2020 presidential candidate Joe Biden's promise to reverse due process rules for campus sexual assault on Thursday.
And which rules are these? The ones that were put in place to give more protections to the accused?
Yeah, well, yes, and and now people lose their minds and they talk about protections for people accused of rape and sexual assault. No, what it is it's ensuring that people are viewed innocent until proven guilty, which is what
the way it's supposed to be.
Well, exactly, yeah, that's what our system is founded on. And now, I mean, even for non-sexual assault case, even outside of Title IX and universities, that's not the case. I mean, the fact that people are brought away in handcuffs, right, shows that the police are assuming that they're guilty. In some countries, I saw that on TV they would pixelate out handcuffs around people's hands because that implies that they're guilty, which does nothing because people figure, okay, they're in handcuffs, but at least it's something. Former VP Biden, who faces sexual assault allegations by his former Senate staffer Tara Reid, promised Wednesday to reverse Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos's Title IX protections for those accused of sexual assault on college campuses. The protections are the Trump administration's effort to, quote, shame and silence sexual assault victims, Biden added in a statement. And so now people might be saying, oh, why is he doing this now? What does that have to do? Because there is a culture, and I lived on campus for 2 years here at Kegstan College. There is a culture of fear when it comes to allegations like that, because there's been places like, I don't know, Mattress, if people remember Mattress Girl, and the Duke lacrosse case, where all it has to be a woman would accuse someone of sexual assault, and before there's an investigation, even the colleges would, in some cases, the college would just kick them out, and even if not, people would make the accused lives miserable. And it's unfortunate because there are actual sexual assaults that go on, and they're less for some people would believe them less just because there's so many I guess like false flags. I guess that's what it is, a false flag, and staged events. Quote, this Title IX rule explicitly protects survivors and restore due process for all students. The press secretary for the Department of Education, Angela Morabito, said, the previous administrations allowed students to treat accused students as, quote, schools to treat accused students as, quote, guilty until proven innocent. The rule lets colleges, quote, off a hook for protecting students by allowing colleges to investigate in a, quote, in a way that dissuades survivors from coming forward, Biden said Wednesday. Well, whatever happened to being allowed to face your accuser, right? And
well, the colleges are all backwards with a lot of this stuff, right? Like they, it's not just accusations of rape. It's just all over the map. They essentially have a private agreement with all the students there. So it's like, if you go to a college, they can search your room anytime they want to. If they stop you walking around, if you're just walking from one point to another on the campus and they say, stop, we need to search you, then you have to allow it to happen. You don't have any rights on these college campuses, and that's part of this whole process. So I support anything that restores a semblance of rights to college campuses.
I agree, and I mean, I think it's like for totally private institutions. Although I don't think there's really like totally 100% private institutions left that don't accept government money.
There's maybe like one or two. I think I've heard Hillsdale doesn't take government money.
That's what I've heard. Never heard of it. So and then the rest is just rehashing it. So I mean, does Biden have zero? Well, excuse me. Does his handlers, right? Do they have zero self-awareness? Right, talking about. I mean, maybe they think that this will make him look good by saying, "Oh,
he's going up against a rapist."
Well, yeah. I mean, or
which
accused.
Means he's not one.
I mean, it's
right.
Well, I mean, there's people are accusation, and he's trying to get the accusations to be swept under the rug. Actually,
right. Hashtag always believe women unless they're accusing Joe Biden.
Exactly. Yeah, unless they're interfering with a Democrat candidate or someone, and then same thing with Hillary Clinton, who would shame her husband's alleged victims.
See, what the schools don't understand and they don't care about, because all they care about is their image, is the old adage of, I'd rather see 100 guilty men go free than one innocent man go to prison. And that's one of the supposed, concepts behind the American system, that does protect the accused. It's supposed to protect the accused, innocent until proven guilty.
Now it's backwards.
Is the idea. They've reversed that in these colleges, which means that there will be innocent people who are punished for things they didn't do, in order so the college looks like it's helping the victims.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just have a little bit of good news. I mean, I consider it good news. This is from Reuters. Exclusive. Trump administration drafting Artemis Accords pact for moon mining. So, Ian, we're going back to the moon, right? Where we might be entering a depression, but where this is what save us, right? Yeah, this will fund all of our Trump bucks, right, by going to the moon. The Trump administration is drafting a legal blueprint for mining on the moon under a new U.S.-sponsored international agreement called the Artemis Accords. People familiar with the proposed pact told Reuters. And now, do you ever see the movie Moon with I think it was Sam Rockwell? That was a good one. It was directed by what's it called? David Bowie's son, and that was a pretty good one. And they're mining helium-3, which could be used for fusion power, right? Which is better than nuclear power and stuff. So I mean, I think this is good news, right? You know, we're thinking beyond our petty squabbles on Earth, looking to expanding the economy to the moon. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. It's Free Talk Live, and we will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin?